Hello, welcome to video 1, well, part 1, of my EDH deck tech, Obzedat Ghost Council as the general. This isn't the one that I've been talking about in other videos. I'm still working on that one, which is a Grixis color scheme. This one I slapped together in about 40 minutes, and I've been playtesting it on Cockatrice, and it's pretty fun. So I thought I'd do a deck tech video on it, since I haven't done a deck tech in a while. So this is technically the first complete EDH deck that I've ever made. I'm not really that familiar with the format, but so far I like it. So pretty much everybody is familiar with these guys. So I picked them as a general because of the white-black color scheme, and that's pretty much it. There are only like, I think, 4 legendary creatures that are white and black, and I happen to have this one. So plus, I like the life gain drain thing. That's a big element of this deck, too. So, I mean, they go with the flavor of the deck. And, yeah, I like this card a lot. So, whether or not they're actually a good general, I don't know. I don't really know what makes a good general. But I like them. So, oh, these are all messed up. This is like my billionth time filming this week. Okay. So, mana base. First we have our utility lands. I've got a Vault of the Archangel. Great because of lifelink. It's like midnight. I should just stop making videos at midnight because I don't know how to speak. Thespian Stage. I can copy a land. And I like this card because I can copy one of my lands if I need extra mana fixing, or I can copy somebody else's badass land. So it's a pretty cool card. Leech-ridden Swamp sadly enters the battlefield tapped, but I can pay a black mana and tap this to have each opponent lose 1 life. Funny. Yeah. I meant to say fun, but it came out funny. Sorry. Salem got cat fur all over my playmat. These things attract cat fur like you would not believe. Or maybe you do. Maybe you have cats that also like to lay on your playmats. Then I have a Bojuka Bog. Pretty common in EDH. Exiles a target player graveyard when it comes into play. A Rogue's Passage to make a creature unblockable. And that works really well with one creature in this deck, which we will get to in part 2. But, you know, it's pretty cool. It's also good for a general. If I, like, really need to do general damage, Rogue's Passage is good for that. Then I have a Tectonic Edge to destroy people's non-basic lands. They have to have 4 more lands for me to activate it, but whatever. Then we've got Ghost Quarter, again, to get rid of their land. In the case of this one, though, they get a basic land out of it, but if I'm destroying, like, a badass land or a mana-fixing land, I don't really care. And on Cockatrice, I actually did play against somebody who had no basic lands in their deck, and said they didn't get a land. And that worked out pretty well. Then I have a Kabira Crossroads, which enters the battlefield tapped, and taps for planes, mostly in here because of the gain 2 life thing. And, yeah. So, for mana fixing, I have Orzhov Guildgate, Orzhov Basilica, and Isolated Chapel. If you can tell me of other white-black mana-fixing lands that do not enter the battlefield tapped, I would like to know. I obviously know about shock lands, but I don't really want to use shock lands. I don't think that they're that great in EDH. I mean, they're great in Modern, but I don't know. They're not that impressive to me in EDH. But or even ones that enter tapped, that aren't crazy expensive because I'm poor and I don't feel like pumping like a whole bunch of money into this deck. I mean, it's already worth a lot. I mean, I have a lot of somewhat expensive cards in here anyway, but I'm rambling. For basic lands, I got a ton of basic lands. I have 13 plains and 15 swamps. So, I mean, I'd like to have more mana fixing. I mean, I haven't had too much of an issue of being mana screwed because there are only 2 colors in this deck. But, you know, it's always nice. It's nice to have those double lands, dual lands. For planeswalkers, I have two. First off, we have the lovely Elspeth Tyrell. She's in here for her +2 and her -2 ability. For gaining life and creating tokens. Tokens are also like a big part of this deck, on top of the life gain drain deck aspect of it. The tokens are meant to feed the machine, as it were, which we'll get to in video 2 when we talk more about creatures. And then I have Liliana of the Dark Realms for mana rampants, mostly. So, I mean, her +1 is whatever, mostly in here for her -6. Especially nice because I've got a ton of swamps in this deck. And I also have a few spells that have X in the mana cost. So being able to put like a ton of mana into them is quite good. And then we have artifacts. Everflowing Chalice for mana ramping. Not the best card, but if I have like Liliana's emblem out and I can kick this a ton, it becomes awesome. Spellbook is like, why the hell not? I have no maximum hand size, that sounds great. Jar of Eyeballs again, why the hell not? I mean, if this card can be used anywhere, it will be EDH. And so what it does, because nobody plays this, so you might not know what it actually does. Whenever a creature you control dies, put 2 eyeball counters on Jar of Eyeballs. Pay 3, tap, remove all eyeball counters from Jar of Eyeballs. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of eyeball counters removed this way. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So it's basically a tutor. Kind of expensive and weird. However, because this deck should, if all goes according to plan, produce a ton of tokens, whose goal in life is to die. This card actually is not horrible in this deck, and it's nice to be able to search for something, especially if I remove a lot of eyeball counters. I can pick something awesome. Then I have a Trading Post, just an all-around good card. I can pay 1, discard a card, and gain 4 life. I can pay 1, tap, pay 1 life, pay a mana, and put a goat token, a 0/1, but a token to sacrifice. And then I can sacrifice a creature, return target artifact card from my graveyard to my hand. Pretty good if somebody destroys my artifacts. And I can sacrifice an artifact to draw a card. So these two go really nice. This whole card is just wonderful because I can create a token, right? And then I can sacrifice that token, or I can sacrifice an artifact to draw a card, then create a token, then sacrifice the token and get that artifact back. It's wonderful. I love that card. Tablet of the Guilds, obviously for the life gain. Why not? Angel's Feather, again, for the life gain. Why not? It's an annoying card, but there's a reason why I have all of these. Oh my god, there's a giant spider on my floor. Look at it. Ah. Oh no, don't go into my magic cards. Oh gosh darn it. Salem. Salem, kill this. Kill this right. Kitty. Oh, man. Now I can't sleep until I kill it. Hold on. Get a shoe. Oh, man. Is it dead? Yeah, it's dead. Alright, we can proceed. Sorry about that. But, I mean, it was going towards my bed. Normally I'd let it live, but it was getting up in my bed. And that's not cool. Then we have the Chalice of Life. Again, pretty much for the flippy Chalice of Death to take 5 life each turn of mine. Mask of Avacyn in here for critter protection. Gives enchanted creature hexproof, and there are a lot of vital creatures in this deck, so this is basically to protect vital creatures from removal spells or abilities. Soul Ring, because it's apparently an EDH staple, and it's mana rampy. Orzhov Signet, bit rampy, not a whole lot, bit rampy, mana fixing, great artifact. Gilded Lotus for ramping. Late, well, EDH games can go kind of long, so that would be like a late 5 mana. Late, whatever. Well, that video was... Well, anyway, thank you for watching. I'm sorry I had to kill a spider. I feel bad about it, but it was getting in my bed, and it almost looked like a Black Widow. I don't think it was, but it had that general body shape, and so I was a little anxious. And I've filmed this video like a million times, so I don't feel like refilming it. So, yeah, part 1. If you have any questions or comments or suggestions, leave them down below. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for part 2.